What's up YouTube, Mike here with PeoplesChoiceGaming, and today I'm going to show you a demonstration of all the best stances with the combos. First up I got the Skoliak. So basically every different weapon type has like two different stances usually. I think the Dragon Nikana might be the only one that has one, but typically they all have two stances, and for every weapon type there's typically one best stance. Usually it's the rare, but not always, and usually one will just be not as good as the other one because it's like a lessened version of the better one basically. And from using all of them and just from everyone's reactions to all the different ones, I've acquired all my favorite and for the most part all the best stances for the different weapon types. Now in part 2 I'm going to show about 4 or 5 others, not quite as popular, but I'm going to show for the most part all the popular ones in this video. And the only ones I haven't grabbed yet are hands and feet, dagger and staff, which I just don't really care too much about, so I'll grab them I'll just get them when I get them. And then the hammer. Now I do want the jack tag, and that I'm pretty sure falls under the hammer, so that's an exception. I do want to get that one, but I do have all the rest. So the whip was the first one I just showed there. It was Burning Wasp. This is Crossing Snakes, the popular stance for the dual swords. And I'm showing you the dual Iker first. 2 different combos I'm showing. The first one's real easy to pull off. This one's a little bit harder, but not too tough. And I wanted to show the dual Ikers because they're really, really good again. And after this, even though it's the same stance, I am going to show the dual heat swords, because the cool thing about the dual heat swords is, you know, the combos obviously are the same. It's the same stance. However, there are some weapons, you know, that will perform a little bit differently because of different attributes. Not many, but specifically the dual heat swords. So you're going to do the same combo, but instead of doing a green energy kind of blast at the end, I'm going to do a huge fireball AoE at the end. Kind of like if I was doing a jump attack with the dual heat swords. That kind of fireball. And it's pretty sweet looking, so let me check that out real quick. There it is. I don't know, I like that one a lot. It's pretty cool. It's just really nice that all the melee is good again. Like, there's probably only a few of the melee that are still kind of bad, like the machete wraith. But for the most part, all the melee are pretty damn good now. Unfortunately, our really nice high damage charge attacks are gone, but it's whatever, it happens. So this is the Galantine. It's going to fall under Axe and Heavy Sword. And I'm using the most popular Cleaving Whirlwind. The first attack I was doing, you know, was just the regular melee attacks. I usually do those in the beginning. And then here is the Cleaving Wind, or Cleaving Whirlwind. Honestly, pretty slow, really not all that great. The Galantine actually gets out damaged by a lot of the weapons. Galantine is so awesome because back when it had the huge charge damage, we don't have that anymore, and it had huge crit, but only for charge. We don't have that anymore either. So now you're left with a low damage, very slow weapon. There's a lot of weapons better than it now, unfortunately. Still really cool looking, especially how you hold it there. Now this is for Polearm, and I'm showing the Orthos Prime for Polearm, and this is the popular Bleeding Willow. And for sure this one is better than the other one, which is called Shimmering Blight. But I will show that really quickly too, just to show you what I mean about the other ones being the same as the first one, but not having as many attacks at the end basically. So here's your basic melee attack, just like it always was. Real nice fast attack speed, real good damage too. The Orthos Prime is really good at melee 2.0. There's the combo. You basically push the polearm into the ground, and you do 2 pole vaults, second pole vault, and then you do a spin attack. It's definitely one of my favorite combos. It's pretty badass and not too hard to pull off. Now I'm going to show the Shimmering Blight afterwards, And notice it's gonna have, you know, the same combo line as the other one, but just not as many melee attacks at the end in the combo line. And you end up doing the same thing. You do one big pole vault in the beginning, but then that's it. You don't do the second pole vault or that last spin attack. See, there's that big pole vault, but then nothing else. You don't get another pole vault or any spin attack. And that's how a lot of the stances are. There's like a best one, and then there's one that's just not as good. Now here's the Glaive, and it's called Gleaming Talon. I think for the Glaive too, just like the Nikana, there's only one stance for, if I'm correct. So I'm going to show the couple combos now of the Glaive here. The Glaive is pretty cool too. If you try to melee with it, you only melee. You can't throw it because there's no more charge attack. So what they did is they incorporated the throw into one of the combos. There it is right there. It's the short combo, and it's really easy to pull off. If I'm not mistaken, I think I'm doing melee, melee, pause, melee. I think that's what I'm doing right there. Now this is the badass one. This is the one where you do the 360 horizontal spin in the air and throw it out. And before that, you kind of like whip it out to the side of you too. It's a really badass combo there. I like that one a lot too. I see a lot of people using that. They're really into that one. And the last one I'm going to show, which I saved the best for last, it's the newest weapon. Also one of the strongest weapons in the game. Been testing it out against Ikers, Zorns, a few other weapons. And it's definitely sitting at the top as the best weapon in the game. Is the Dragon Nikana. I'm going to show the Tranquil Cleave on that. Really rare, tough to get, super expensive if you try to buy it. For the most part, it'll definitely go down, of course. But, dude, the animation is so badass, too. I have a tassel on the handle. I bought those extra. And notice the tassel on the end. That's not the blade, though. That's the holster. So it's even got its own holster. All ninja'd out. So sweet. So that's the first combo there. You basically do normal attacks, a flurry of attacks, and then you do an inwards roll and another attack. So that's really cool. This one's really easy to pull off. I think this is the one where you hold right click as you attack. You basically just do normal attacks and then you kind of like thrust forward. And then this is the last combo here. Not really... that one's kind of okay. I think the coolest one is the whole roll and everything. Tune in for part 2 where I show off about 4 or 5 of the other popular ones. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment, like, and subscribe.